Hello everyone! Today we are going to read the story Caps for Sale by Esphyr Slobodkina. And I'm glad you joined me for this story today. It's one of my kids' favorites. It has a silly twist you will discover with me. So grab your blankets and get cozy and let's see what happens. Once there was a peddler who sold caps. But he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. See if you can see his checked hat at the bottom, followed by the gray caps, the brown caps, blue caps, and the red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps! Caps for sale!" One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he. And he walked out of town slowly, so as not to upset his caps. There he goes. No money for lunch. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. There's the happy afternoon sun. See that little smiley face? Then he woke up and was refreshed and rested. What a nice nap. I feel refreshed after naps. But before standing up, he felt with his head to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. Oh no. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. I wonder where they are. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? I wonder if you can guess. What do you think is up in the tree? Good guess. Let's see. On every branch sat a monkey, and on every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. Oh my goodness. That's where the caps are. Those silly monkeys. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. Those naughty monkeys. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Zzz, zzz, zzz." This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Zzz, zzz, zzz." Here's those naughty monkeys. Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot. Stamp your feet. Oh, do you do that when you're mad? He stamped his feet and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tz, tz, tz." By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "Tz, tz, tz." This is not working. Sometimes just getting mad doesn't help. I wonder what else he could do. At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then, each monkey pulled off his cap. All the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So, the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end. That's a silly story, but it ends well. I hope you had a good time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for joining me for story time.